Mother's Day to all the mothers who gave birth and to all the mothers who did not. Those are the adopting moms. Very, very important. Happy Mother's Day also to all the men who perform the mother's role so often, even when the mother is around. We could not do it without you. Congratulations, everyone, and enjoy your special day. So, on this very special day, I bring to you this message titled Sacred Mothering, Nurturing and Cultivating Souls. So the second Sunday in May is officially recognized as Mother's Day in the United States of America. And many, many families around the world have been celebrating Mother's Day on this day since the year 1914. That's when it was officially launched. And the original meaning of Mother's Day was to foster friendship and to honor the importance of motherhood. In some cultures, this day is used to support underprivileged women and children. Some use the day to underscore equal rights and justice, while others use it to garner access to good childcare. In my personal Mother's Day experiences, there were many a breakfast in bed and luncheons and dinners and gifts and all types of paraphernalia. In church circles, the women were celebrated honorably. There was lots of merriment, flowers, and respect bestowed upon the mothers. And that is so great to be celebrated and to be seeing and experiencing the surface effect of motherhood. However, this year, as we donned our theme, Embracing the Energies of the Soul, it got me thinking about motherhood and the soul connection. And I started looking at the archetypal structure of motherhood and started peering beyond the surface at the whole idea of what the spiritual function of the mother is, and glean for myself, what does a mother truly do at the soul level? And my research took me to the teachings of one of the world's great master teachers, that's Mahrzxijah Yogananda. He said, before our lives took on physical form, we had a history, and the soul does not enter the body by chance. We came here with awareness. Just think about that. We came here with awareness. Among all the things that our souls could ask for, its greatest desire was for growth. Our souls require growth because it is the best way that it can evolve, as well as to know love more deeply and to where old patterns can be transformed into wisdom. And that is why our parents are not just simply grabbed out of a hat by random. No, it was not willy-nilly. According to Yogananda, nothing is incidental, not even the family in which we were born. So our souls knew where it was headed to long before we took our first breath. Our soul course was pre-charted. And whatever our purpose is for on this earth, our mothers were at the very center, at the very core of it. Her soul agreed to support us in our endeavor to carry out our purpose. And she was perfect for our assignment. She is the doorway through which our physical journey began, and she was brave enough to stand battle ready on the front line to face down our painful life challenges when we were called to defend our territory. Yogananda said, "It was in the womb that we learned about energy and were taught how emotions shaped reality. We were in our mother's womb when we learned emotion as a language. It was our first, and in many ways, the most profound. You see, we fed off our mother's emotional energy in our unconscious state in the womb, and eventually carried over much of that energy to the spaces and places where we inhabit. So you see, it was through our mother's emotion that we were taught to express emotionally. And so I stopped to ask myself, what was the sacred God idea for having Lucille Mitchell as my mother? What caused my physical life upon this planet to begin with her? According to Yogananda, it was a combination of her presence, her struggles, her love, her wounds, her strength, and her limitations. All her qualities, all her tendencies would awaken something within me so profound that it was going to be very difficult to ignore. All these were carefully aligned so that my experiences on this realm could line up with my purpose and bring it to fruition. That is what my soul is seeking to resolve. And so the family that we were born into, the emotional climate and the culture was selected by source or higher intelligence, and the soul then decide what are the perfect set of circumstances through which they may be experienced. Our mothers were there shaping our inner world to prepare us for what is at hand, bearing in mind that the whole thing is God in expression. God actually as life, expressing as me and as you. Remember, there's one life. That life is God. And then that life is our life now. On the soul level, our mothers are the very essence of the infinite expressing herself as an instrument of divine love. Through her, Yogananda said, we would encounter our first experience of love and separation, comfort and longing, frustration and safety, absence and control, security and challenges, happiness and dissatisfactions, according to what our soul set out on this journey to experience. The covenant we have with our mothers is mutual, and we agree to play roles that challenge us or nurture us. Her presence in our life offers her examples of her own growth as well, like helping her with her unhealed wounds. Healing the wounds your mother carried is the beginning of awareness, the beginning of liberation. The mother's womb is not just a place of creation. It is the first classroom of consciousness. The womb was the first temple. It was the first sanctuary, the first synagogue, the first chapel, if you will, where we were first introduced to the mysteries of life. Our mother was our first mirror, reflecting the lessons we came here to learn, reflecting the part of our soul that came in to be healed and to be balanced. When I thought my mom was being unjustified in her treatments towards me, I used to scream for decades, asking the question, why is she doing this to me? However, I grew to learn that the right question to be asked is, what lesson is this here to teach me? And that single shift in perspective transforms my pain into wisdom. I was indeed learning to be my true self. Our path from our mothers offer lessons for life, and every experience is leading the soul back to unconditional love and reflecting divine love. According to Carl Jung, the father of psychology, our mothers are not just physical. They are powerful forces that manifest through their traits and their behaviors. So we reiterate that the mother you have become your mother because of the lessons you need to learn and what you need to accomplish here and now. Your mother, with all her strengths and all her flaws, were the perfect educator, the perfect gift, actually, for your life to help you shape your unique curriculum. These challenges help to drive growth towards your own evolution. The soul does not seek comfort. It seeks instead these experiences to have it resolved. Your soul works to set you up to develop resilience, compassion, and self-worth. For example, if your mother was overprotective, what we call the helicopter mom, you are here to learn about boundaries and to discover your own strength and bolster your own ability to make decisions and act independently and masterfully in governing yourself and to claim your freedom. If your mother was loving and nurturing, her words and actions were meant for you to build trust and great connections in this lifetime. If your mother was critical, like my mother, who was the king of harsh words and criticisms, you may be here to build self-love and self-validation. My mother's words cut deep and came across to me very painfully. However, what it helped me to learn in my adult years is to experience my authentic self. It was a catalyst for courage and confidence, and to set up myself for governing myself into becoming independent. It was designed for me to drive through the pain towards my destiny, towards self-mastery. If your mother was distant or often away for work or on trips, and it really expresses affection, leaving you feeling unloved and seeking approval everywhere else, this may be teaching you emotional maturity. See our message on emotional intelligence. The absence of your mother's coziness or warmth was no error. It was meant for you to find the love which exists within you, leading you to your true nature, to your divine being. It could also be happen to help you to forge your self-worth or self-validation. If you had a strict and demanding mother who overplays her bully archetype in your life, and who may be at the same time nurturing and protective, you are being offered a lesson in resilience and self-assertion. If your mother's understanding was tested or limited, your soul may be awakened to patience and inner strength and perhaps endurance. If your mother had a challenge with self-doubt, it could be that you were meant to press towards self-acceptance and to coach you to stand up for yourself and to let your voice be heard. If you had a mother who struggled with giving affection and compassion, it may be the infinite way to become sensitive, to come to know sympathy and empathy in a deep and meaningful way. If your mother was determined to teach through silence, you may choose to learn self-reliance, to grow beyond this dependency, and to have your inner light shine. All these gifts provide the raw material for your growth towards divine love. It was Yogananda that reminded us that behind our earthly mother, there standing behind her, is the Divine Mother, who is the infinite source of compassion and protection. Love flowed through your physical mother from the Divine Mother to ignite us with life. Our mothers were and are still playing the sacred role in our divine matrix of the evolution of life. When she hugged you, you were experiencing the nurturing aspect of God, the mother life. When she made mistakes, you were privy to the limits of her human love, which was meant to direct you to the unchanging love of the unconditional power. When she's angry, you saw on display the same Divine Mother who destroys ignorance. So our relationship may be filled with unanswered questions. However, we are here to transform our challenges into strengths. There is something to garner from every relationship. There are teachable moments in all encounters that is deep and purposeful. And the relationship with your mother was a divine alignment. Again, your mother is a sacred part of your growth. It is certainly not random. It was part of a larger design, a bigger contract or covenant. Soul stories are sacred. And she agreed on the soul level to play this part in your growth, just the same way that we agreed to play our parts in hers. And that is challenging and complex on many levels. We were not merely growing inside our mother's bodies and then pushed out to be born. We were transported by the soul into this lifetime to be shaped by her energy and fashioned by her vibration. Just know that your mother loves you. Just know that. No matter what the quality of the relationship is or was, she loves you unconditionally. I discovered this truth in my adult years. There is no way that a mother can do anything but love her children. She would not know how to do anything other than love her offspring. So in closing, I want to take this moment to invite you to participate in this exercise. To take a moment, just a moment, to reflect upon and feel the presence of the mother life within you. You may close your eyes if you wish and see her standing before you, male and female alike. Men and women can carry this energy now. Just pause for a bit and actually feel the feminine energy surge through your being. This is not a visioning. It is a living vibration. And it does not matter if you're sitting next to her now or far away, or even if she's not in physical form anymore. Her energy still maintains its flow in your life. Of all the energies that run through you, your mother's energy runs the deepest. Acknowledge her soul, not her personality, not her behavior. Acknowledge her deeper essence. Take a pause and breathe that in. You may not have liked all the things she did or said. However, she did the best that she could with the energies she carried from her patterns. And then I invite you to ask these questions. What is my soul learning through her? How can I use these materials to shape and reshape myself? How can I use these lessons to live authentically? This helps you to see her not as a source of pain, however, to see her as a teacher in your soul's journey. There's a thread of love existing between you and your mother. Feel the strength of that thread. Send compassion down that ancestor thread line and speak into it, saying, I release you from blame, and I release myself also from blame. I release my grandmother, and then her mother, and her mother. Keep going down the line of mothers until you're satisfied that you have touched enough of your great, great, great mothers. See your mother as the divine energy, not just a physical personality who gave birth to you. She symbolizes a connection to higher consciousness and universal wisdom. And this connection you share runs very, very deeply. Again, of all the energies you have running, your mother's energy runs the deepest in you. Whether we are aware of it or not, we all carry a divine gift from our mothers and our ancestors. You're never alone. Your mother is always here. The feminine energy is always here. Now see that strong thread now transmute into a beam of light. That light is love. And love is a potent purifier. So acknowledge your mother with love. Appreciate where she showed her love. And now allow gratitude to fill you up and see the grace of these gifts double and triple in your life. Give thanks for her soul. Look beyond her eyes. Look behind her smile. Look behind her silence and know that the Divine Mother standing in her is watching you. And now you're taking steps towards the exploration of your purpose within this loving universe. If you had closed your eyes, you may open them and just shift your body, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Close right now and just signal to your body that you're right here, right now. And so it is. And so it shall remain. Now you may share with us, what steps will you take to shine through your mother's energy right now? You may open your mic if you wish.
Reverend Mahrzxijah, thank you so much for that powerful presentation today. And as she said, now's the time that if you have any questions or observations, like to share maybe an experience or something that you have, and share like what steps you'll take through to shine, and really acknowledge and recognize your mother as the divine, and try to envision her as the divine presence of God and not just the physical body of the mother. Reverend, before I call on somebody by hands here in this virtual gathering, uh, just share, yes, it's so true that as mothers, we have so much unconditional love um, that whatever the case is, it just shines through. And possibly if it's not perceived as that or the child might not understand it, we have to continue forging through with our love and the energy and that feminine energy you're talking about. The question I had for you is you mentioned something about we come here in the womb with the history already in the womb. Can you elaborate on that for me?
The history already in the room.
In the womb, like we're in
Oh,
our mother's womb
okay.
when
Well,
our mother, yeah.
yeah, the history started before that.
But how do we know? How do we recall or remember these things? What steps could we do to remember these things?
Now that is a very interesting question about remembering, because one
Yeah.
of the things that we agreed to on the soul level was to cross the river of forgetfulness, so that we could have a fresh beginning here on this planet. When you're coming to the earth, to this experience, you agreed to forget. Now, through teachings, through learnings, through exploring, through discovering, there are many masters who have, what I should say, mastered this idea of remembering some of the things that they had experienced on the soul level, maybe like the Buddha or the Christ or Krishna. And of course, there are many other modern ones who have taken their self through the stages, had their masters, their sages, and learned from them. And but as far as I know, you did take a vow to forget, and by going through these steps and these stages and making the connections with the relationships, through the relationships that we have, we take a glance every now and again back into those stages, but it's not. And as you see, we came here with a prescription. We came here with a stamp, and that's coming from all our ancestors. And possibly that helped us to, grab back some of those things that we decided that we would leave across the river.
Okay, so I listened keenly to this presentation, and I found it very deep because I don't remember ever hearing a Mother's Day message that uh,
Intense.
is one like this, you know. Um, and the highlight is that uh, in the womb, where is the initial stage of energy and um, emotions and all of that, you know, that we pick up and we emerge in the physical with it, you know.
Yes.
That was pretty deep. I
Mm-hmm.
remember talking with an individual recently, a woman, and she has this daughter that they're always at loggerheads. And she's saying, I'm not that type of a person. When and how did this person become like that? It's because uh she never spent all of her early childhood with me and whatever. And I was trying to tell her that all of what is being reflected is what the child actually has picked up from you as the mother. I mean, that was pretty harsh,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Yeah.
that was what I was inspired
To say.
to say, you know. So
Yeah.
when you go through all of the different emotions that is expressed by the mother, and what it means, and what it helps to, or how it helps to shape your life. That was inspiring. Thank you.
Yes, it does. And not only are you absorbing from your mother's energy, you're also absorbing from the environment where she lives, from the people around her, the father, her mother, and her siblings, perhaps in the same house. Everywhere she goes, on the street, wherever the energies are coming to the child in the womb. And even though that child is not conscious per se, yes, he's aware, but not conscious to the world where he is, the body is recording all of that. The body is absorbing it. And that is why sometimes we have some tendencies, some behaviors here, which we question, just like the lady was questioning you about, oh, I'm not like that. But she's still not aware. Her awareness is not sharp enough to help lead her to where that may be coming from. And some of the things, I must say, that help us to tiptoe back into memory is to be in classes like our Glowing Master Sacred Study. Even in studying this book, looking at this book that we're looking at now, help us to understand some of the things that happen while we're in the womb or before we are. Yes, the idea was that we chose our parents. Over alongside the infinite, we did. We looked in our full consciousness then. We looked and say, you know what? I got this. I'm going to go and I'm going to do this, that, and the next, and take on this community and enhance it and expand it and push away those boundaries. And we make agreements with all of these people are surrounding us. But when we get here, with like that mother, oh, I did not. I did not, but yes, she did. You answered her kind of pointed. That was prickly. And that's not an easy pill to swallow, to let somebody know that, you create your own reality. And that's another thing that we're not accepting as readily, is that we create our own reality, and that our children and all the people surrounding us are part of that reality which we created. However, it's just so unconscious. I wish there was something, some button that we could press to let people understand and know that you create your life, create your own reality. And here it is now, voila.
And thank you so much, Reverend. Also, you said humanity, most people, when they're not aware of what options are there for themselves, because most of us are operating unconsciously with our decision and our choices and all that until we start to ask ourselves questions. Some of us get stuck in asking the question, why? But as you mentioned, we should turn that around. So this is something I'm learning, my takeaway for today. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Why is that happening? Why? We're to ask ourselves the question, what lesson am I supposed to learn from this human experience?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What
asking
am
the
I
what.
supposed to be learning through her? Because there's no answer to a why question. There's
Hmm.
not. Reverend Alma taught me that, and I see that even through the years. But when you ask, what is my soul supposed to be learning? For example, when my mom used to shout at me and behave so cruel, in my estimation as a youngster, I was asking why. I didn't get any answer that would satisfy that. But when I started to look now at what I am learning through her, and some of those answers started coming to me when I was studying The Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Mace, her book, looking at the archetypal patterns where all the templates that were laid and all that. I started seeing, of course, you don't see everything all at once. It takes a little doing over weeks or months, perhaps. One day you might be there and say, oh, you know, that's what that meant. What am I supposed to be learning? Sure, I'm supposed to be standing independently, going through the steps of self mastery, learning courage, learning commitment. And yeah, it's like that.
And compassion, and then also self-love.
And self-love.
Mentioned something about self-acceptance and self-worth. Those are the things, and what, as we're learning, we can reflect on that as well. And are we like Reverend Alma used to teach me, I learned from her, are we forgiving ourselves for something that occurred? We have to forgive ourselves for our innocence.
Yes. That's for sure. That's a huge one. Also, we were in a state that, you can't know what you didn't know.
Right.
Right.
And how can we feed more off of our mother's energy? How can we do that, like as a child?
As a child, generally, we would not be seeing that unless you have somebody deliberately teaching you.
Okay.
But as a child, we don't normally just know it automatically unless we come in with this special gift. However, that's why we have mothers, that's why we have guardians, that's why we have people around us. So that like my grandchildren or, the youngsters, we start teaching them earlier, rather than having them wait, for any length of time. I remember before, around about the time when my son and Alicia were getting married, they did a course with Reverend Alma. I remember how long they were in the class. However, after they were done and then they had their children now and start raising them, when we go to spend time with them, we used to hear them every night. As part of their prayer, they would say 7 ups: love, life, peace, power, beauty, joy, wisdom, every night. Every night. So at that point, they started to inject in them the substances. Excuse me, and that's where we start to learn.
Yes. Greetings to everyone.
Oh,
Greetings.
Greetings. Love to hear
Right.
your voice. All right.
Long time, long time.
This is Adepoju.
Guy.
Adepoju. It's been a while.
It's been a
Uh,
while. How are you?
yes, I choose to you know go on exile.
Yes. That's okay. That's okay.
So it's just a joke anyway. Really, I'm in spirit with you guys every time. I
Yeah.
may not come, but my energy is always on your part. I never neglect those messages and those love that you always show me, and then sincerely didn't take none of them for granted.
Fabulous.
Sincerely, concerning this motherlyhood, it is a deep conversations, a big conversations that gives me a very deep concerns about life. Because when you guys were narrating it, I have a very big jealous in my heart because and have a very big concern in my heart at the same time because of those child that has a good parental cares, those child that had a good parental love, those child that has a deep relationship with their mothers, including their fathers, because I believe it takes two to tango. Now, in a short form, there was a word you raised, ma, like what steps will you take to outshine your motherly? I don't really get that last part. He said, what steps will you take to outshine your, is it motherly would care or whatever? I don't really understand that part.
Yeah, that's a question
Before
for
I can
you.
proceed.
That's your question,
Okay,
and
okay,
it's a
okay,
question for
okay,
you
okay,
to answer.
okay.
That
That question,
yeah,
okay,
what are you
that
going to
question,
do? What are the steps
yes,
that you're going to take to ensure that your
yes,
mother's light shine through you? And
okay.
one of
Well,
those steps that you can take is to forgive. As we said
okay,
in the treatment, forgive meaning to release those patterns. Just take a conscious effort to let it go. Just release. Just see it going down the river.
okay,
Not
okay.
hold
Now,
her to any blame or to anything. All she was doing, even in her darkest hour, even when she was being angry and upset and in her doubts and all her fears, even in those energies, she was still expressing to you through her, to you, divine love.
okay,
And for you to see it's kind of a backwards kind of a way to go, but that's
mm,
what she was bringing to you. To
okay,
you can do the
okay,
opposite.
okay. Let me just bring in my submissions into closing part. Now, sincerely, I will not tell you lie, and sincerely, you can make your research. I have grown up out of my motherly care. I was grown up out of my motherly love, and that wound every times remains to the essence that I am carrying it every day. Because when you're trying to pour out your pains, your concerns to your mother, and she never see it as a concern, she never see it as a pain, she never sees it as an error, she never sees it as she have done nothing wrong. That is why I say sometimes it pains me and it still gives me joy on the other side that I'm
Right.
opportune to meet people that has a parental care, because sometimes it makes their lives look more smoother, more faster, and they begin to achieve some certain things and begin to drop you behind, because there are some points that you need your motherly love like
Yes,
never before.
that's
Whether
true.
you are at a big age, whether you are at a middle age, whether you are at a marital age, whether you need her so far that is still breathing and still living in the land of the living. The point is, when a woman decided to choose to go multiple or to have a multiple sex or to have a multiple husbands, and you are trying to make her to understand that your priority of it all is the children that you have raised out of this multiple sex or multiple marital lifestyle. Now, they never, all this word that you are using, that what steps will you take to outshine your mother? There's no steps you can take, ma. Let me be frank with you, because Africa, they believe whatever African mothers, whatever anything they does, whatever anything they does, they believe they have the audacity and the power, whether they are deeply wrong, they don't want to they are not concerned about it. What they always know is that they allow their own priority, negative energies to, that is why they've shut a lot of children in Africa down. They've shut them down to the extreme that they have derived them from the inner energies that makes them to come out publicly and said, "Oh, I am proud of my father. I am proud of my mother." The reason why I'm saying this is a topic that sometimes you look some other mother that were there, and they are not your own biological mother is not showing that part that they're supposed
Right.
to play. Somebody else is playing that part, and you begin to channel the energy outside to the people, to the person that is giving you that positive energy.
Right.
And the conclusion, I will say, it is a big privilege for those people that has a motherly care, irrespective of their age bracket. It is a privilege. But for those that do not have, at the same time, we come into you people, we see you people, we learn, and we don't allow that same negative energy that our mothers has overrun to come through us. So this is my submission. It is a
Right.
grace that those people have. And this is where I will end my submission. Thank you so much and have
Thank
a
you.
nice
Thank
day.
you. Great. Thank you for that. Beautiful. Give an exit. Yeah.
um,
And sometimes that's how it is, Ade. And I'm gonna say right now to you, maybe it is your duty at this point to break that pattern. You came here to break all of that negativity that has been coming down the pipe. Okay? And those other people that are showing you the affection that you think you should be getting from your mom, maybe that's how it was lined up to be. The infinite source, principle, put those people in your life for that very reason. It doesn't necessarily have to come from your birth mother. Yes, she gave birth to you and she brought you here physically. However, you are here to learn or grab information from everywhere. What is in front of you is for you to learn from. So, yes, I can hear the anger, I can feel the anger, pulsing up from you. But now is the time to release that. That's why we did that treatment in the end, to release, to let it go, knowing that you are here to break the pattern. It's on you. It's on you. I know it's probably a heavy burden to shoulder, but it's on you, Ade, to break that so that your children, your grandchildren don't experience that. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Like the Ho'oponopono. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. First of all, I acknowledge you. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. Just keep saying that. Keep saying a whole sanctuary of people were released from that sanatorium that they were say out of their minds, and they went back and joined society, ordinary normal people, just by what's his name? I'll find a name for you and tell you later on. You just go in. You didn't even see the patients. You didn't even see them physically. You just took their file, look at it, acknowledge them, and say, forgive you, love you, thank you, and they release. You practice that over a period of time. It may not happen in one day or one sitting, but keep practicing that. And let go. I know it's difficult, it's challenging to see what's happening in front of you and not voice that or acknowledge that or say that. However, it's time for you to start to see with your inner eye and hear with your inner ear something different. What is it that you want to see? See that thing, acknowledge that thing, and just know that spirit will bring that to you. You have to know that. Okay, Ade? So glad that you're here. So good to see
okay.
you.
But
I have
Veronica afterwards.
a little saying or to add to Ade. Remember that our parents were doing the best that they thought they were doing at the
Right.
time.
Based on what they had learned
Right.
at the time.
At the
Yes.
time. So I've listened to Ade on a number of occasions, and I hear you as a strong, outspoken person
Yes.
who has been
Yes, indeed.
directing energy toward different situations, like in your country and in your personal life, your business, and all of that. And all of that is showing progress. And I
Yes.
know that it's because you're pulling from the strength of that energy
Yep.
through which you came and experiencing so much sorrow and anger, but it's there for you.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I felt that. I felt that. That is so good. From one man to the next, from one mother to the next. That was so great. Beautiful. Whew. Thank you. Thank you for expressing that. Yeah, he is a strong personality. I must agree.
Very.
Yeah, yeah, but it's time now, Ade. It's time for you to start looking through different lenses, see a different perspective. We cannot we cannot solve the issue with
At the
looking at the
same
same
level.
issue. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. Okay, Veronica,
Hi, good morning.
good morning.
Wow, I mean, this is a topic that it's like we need to do it again.
Yeah,
But and I was just thinking, and I'm saying, when we know better, we do better.
exactly.
And when we look at our parents and we look at the history, and we look at what they have been through
Mm-hmm.
and how they got here.
Mm-hmm.
And even when Ade mentioned about the multiple sex partners and stuff like that, some women, it, they went into these things doing this as a way out, whether
Yes.
as a way out of poverty, as a way out of emotional
Mm-hmm.
stress and stuff. And so at that time, it's as if they weren't even thinking that the outcome of having this sex is bringing forth a child. Do
Right.
you understand what it is that you're bringing forth?
Mm.
And then another thing we say, we come we come through, like at my church when we talk about Christian, we said they come through you, but they're not your own. They're
Right.
their own person. They are their own
Okay.
things.
Perfect.
And not because you bring them, they came through you, mean that you're going to mother them. It
Mm-mm.
doesn't necessarily mean that.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll find that the person who gave birth to you did not know how to show you that motherly love.
Mm-hmm.
And again, another strong point that came out of your talk this morning is that the whatever shows up in our life, whatever we experience, it is here to strengthen us, to teach us a lesson, to
Mm-hmm.
help us to really go through what it is we're going to face down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I speak of, I'm a middle child. And if I tell you, I'm a middle child, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the only outside child. I don't, when I tell people that I'm just so special, my mom, her first person was, she had my two older brother, and then they separated, they go their separate life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then my mother got me,
Mm-hmm.
and then she went back to her first
The first
person and got
one.
married, and then they had, so I'm just in the middle.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm like, I would use a term like, I'm the Cinderella. They expect me to be the nurse, the doctor, the everything that there is.
Mm.
But then again, being in that position as the eldest girl,
Mm.
you know, Caribbean parents, you got to do everything. You have to learn to cook, wash, clean, and you have to go to school and get good grades.
Mm-hmm.
You have all that going on. So
Mm-hmm.
what that has done for me, it has strengthened me into being the person who I am.
Mm.
You know, I am
Mm-hmm.
always that person who know that if A doesn't work, B has to work, C have to
Right.
work, D. I'm always a person looking for that solution. So that's what it is with the mother. It is such a wide thing, but biologically, it's not just the end of it. It's not just you giving birth.
Yep.
It is more, and the person
It
who
is.
give birth doesn't mean that is a person who's gonna love you. I
No.
remember hearing this story. There's this I don't know if you've heard it before, but I think he's a priest, and his mother was like what you would call a prostitute. And so she got pregnant with him, and they decided that she couldn't bring that child because she was one of the high end one, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And they did everything they could to abort this child.
Whoa.
And they couldn't, and they threw it out. And then he went on, and somebody take him in, they treat him bad or whatever. He couldn't talk. Now he's going around, he's a priest, and he's speaking and he's teaching. So I'm telling you, the stuff that we go through sometimes, it's just there to strengthen us. And as we say, our mess is our message.
Message.
So I think this topic, we gotta
Yeah.
really sit with it sometimes and just,
It's
so I
powerful.
feel it, I hear it, and I really feel your energy. And I think this is what has been giving you the energy. Whatever it is you think, you're gonna be so good. And there's some men or some group that you need to really teach. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So thank you.
I know that there is. All right. That is so great. So great that we had this session here today. As you see, energies run deep, and they will always, always run deep. And Yogananda was right about all that he said about mother. So thank you, everyone, for contributing to this conversation. So great to have you. Happy Mother's Day to everyone.